push. Push, no. Okay. We got it. I think that's got it. Wow, that cable was tough. We had to thread it all the way through the ATV, but we got it in so we can get ready to spread. Whenever you have property or farm, there's always something to fix. And you saw in the beginning of this video where I had to put a new brake cable on the ATV because it's been several months since that broke, and we need it today to plant the food plot back here at the back of Piney Grove. It always amazes me how quickly that seasons come around. It seems like just a few days ago, I was plowing this field and then disking it and tilling it and planting these Eagle soybeans for the deer. And you can see these soybeans have been totally annihilated by the deer. There's no leaves left on it. There's nothing but pods. And these beans are designed to give more foliage than they do the actual soybeans. But there's plenty of beans on here, except for where the lower areas where the deer were able to reach them. So there's just not really any food left here, and it's time to put in food plots. So that's what we're gonna do. Deb's gonna get on the tractor and mow this down, and then hopefully there's a minimal amount of thatch after we chew it up with the brush hog, and then we can come in and seed it and then rototill in the seed. All right, Miss Piney Grove, you ready to do some brush hogging?
I'm actually very excited to do some brush hogging. I think it's going to be very satisfying. See this mess? I get to knock it all down.
So that's what we'll be using today. We'll be using the Kubota L3901 with the 5-foot brush hog, and Deb's going to get to chopping.
I thought you meant I was what we're going to be using. This is what we're going to be using today, Deb.
We are going to be using Deb today. All right, I'm going to discuss off camera how I want this field mowed, because that's probably not going to be safe for TV. All right, we got a strategy. The reason Deb's going to be doing a lot of the tractoring today is I'm still recovering from shoulder surgery. I had my shoulder completely replaced 8 weeks ago, and I'm just very limited in what I can do, so it's better that I minimize, you know, how much steering and stuff I do. So she's going to help me out there. But we got a strategy. We're going to see how she executes it, but basically she's going to go down here, go over 30 feet, 45 feet, make another cut, and then just keep moving sections down the field. Or at least that's what we talked about. We'll see. We've got the loader off, so it's going to be a lot easier to maneuver around this field. And the T-posts you see in the field are left over from the deer fence, the fake deer fence we had put up. And we don't have the loader on the tractor, so we can't pull those up. There she goes. She's being real cautious. She could go a lot faster, but she hasn't brush hogged in a while. Last thing she did was with the tractor was use the finish mower, but that brush hog will have no problem annihilating all these soybeans. Here's those T-posts I was talking about. She's just got to make sure she don't hit them. It's just soybeans in there. There's no sticks or anything, but you can hear it hitting the deck of the brush hog, and it sounds like, you know, sticks. But these are, like I said earlier, these are all done for the season. So we just need to grind them into the soil. And those pods will be there, so, you know, the wildlife can eat them. The squirrels and the deer will probably come along and munch them up too. I didn't think she would back up, but there she goes. Once she gets by these couple of T-posts, then the rest of the field's pretty easy. Well, it's very easy. There's no more posts as you go deeper into the field. All right, lay your bets now. She should be turning right now and going that way, but she's not. Okay, she's made her turn. Well, like most things, we made a mistake, and we forgot we put 3 exclusion cages out here. And what exclusion cages are is they keep the deer from eating the beans, and you can see which beans they eat versus which beans they can't because they're inside a cage. Let me show you what this cage looks like. I was on the tractor when this happened because I was trying to explain to her how to cut, and when I backed up, I heard an awful noise, and this exclusion cage is now nothing but a bundle of wire. And this was a 4-foot round, like barrel-shaped area. Now it's scrap metal. That's what we got going on. There's Bella, she's worn out. There's a lot of thatch in there. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to plant today, but she's gonna go down there, make a pass around the edge, and then start working this middle out. That's a tired bird dog right there. So the rest of the story on those exclusion cages is that we couldn't find them. We were walking through this field and the wire the color of the wire matches these vines, these soybean vines. Well, we found one with the tractor, then we found the other one, but I knew there was 3, or I thought there was 3, so we actually went back and watched our old YouTube video where we put them out here, and we couldn't tell by the video where they were exactly, so we just kept walking this field 6 feet at a time, and Deb found the last one in that corner over there. But it's crazy, I thought they'd be easy to find, but they weren't. Between the soybean vines and the grass and the weeds that were in here, I don't know that the tiller can turn this up. I think we might have to brush hog this and let it sit for, you know, let it bake in the sun for 3 or 4 days until it gets real crispy and starts to break down, or else it's just gonna wrap around the tiller. So this video will probably not be a planning video. To wrap up the story of going through the field, I saw a snake. I think it was a pine snake, a non-venomous snake, and I saw it run off through the field. It's, you know, stick out here. And I thought it went that way. Well, Deb was looking for those exclusion cages, and I heard a squeal. Well, she found the snake. And to give you an idea of just how tall these beans are, you see Deb on the tractor, and I'm holding the camera right at my eye level. And some of those beans are gonna be as tall as her head. I've grown Eagle soybeans before for deer, and they've gotten, you know, 6 or 7 foot tall. Just depends on how fertile your soil is, and we have real light soil here in Florida. It's very sandy. There's a little bit of clay out here that I tried to mix up when I plowed it and used the box blade, but for the most part it's a sandy loam, so it doesn't hold moisture, not a lot of organic matter, and that's what, you know, tilling this in will do, is incorporate a lot of this. All this here will get broke down by the brush hog, and then it'll get incorporated into the soil and increase the organic matter, which means the soil can increase its water holding capacity, and just in other ways enrich the soil. I was just showing her to overlap a little bit to keep the tractor tire outside of the cut area, and don't try to cut 5 foot at a time, just cut about 4 foot, and that way it'll grind it up real good, and that way she doesn't have to pay attention really to anything else as far as trying to keep aligned. Told her she'd go a little faster too, but she's still being cautious. So in the big scheme of things, it doesn't matter how the field gets mowed, as long as it gets mowed. But what I'm trying to get her to do is think about how to section off the field. And once you create that section, then you can start from here and work your way out and just kind of be a little bit more efficient and have a pattern going. But at the end of the day, right, all that matters is that it gets mowed. We do try to mow it this way because the field slopes, and we don't want to create any channels for the water to run down the hill, so we try to lay everything this way. And the bugs are insane. They're just exploding from this brush. But you can see how a brush hog windrows it, and it's just too much, I think, for the tiller. I mean, that's just this one little area right here. But all that'll make great organic matter for the soil. We just need the sun to break it down. It's still pretty resilient. Give it a couple days in the sun, it'll be brittle. There's a whole bunch of soybeans here on the ground where they've been thrust inside of the brush hog, and they're just laying here. Tastes pretty good. But more and more as she mows more of this field, this was the right call. I've been wanting to leave these leaves as long as possible for the deer to eat, because this is where all the nutrition is, right here in these leaves, but there's very few leaves left here. It's mainly dried stems, and they've eaten off a lot of the soybean pod. So this is the right call. I just don't think the tiller can handle all of this until it has a chance to break down a little bit more. Whenever you windrow like this and leave a strip as you push out from the edges, all of the bugs go to that strip. And as she was coming down here and making that pass, there were grasshoppers that were this big. They're as big as mourning doves that were flushing out. So when she gets down to the very last strip, I'll try to capture that, but they were just flushing out by the hundreds. All right, she's got 2 passes left. Let's see if she flushes all those big, huge grasshoppers out. You can see some bugs are taking off. Yeah, there goes a big old grasshopper. Let's see if we can catch some on camera. Yeah, the sky is just lit up with all of these grasshoppers and butterflies. Big old grasshopper. I think the term they use a lot around here is grasshoppers flushing like quail. I think she's gonna get this last piece right here all in one pass. I think it's like 4 foot wide, and that's really hard to do when you section off a field. You're usually left with a triangular sliver where maybe you don't use the whole field on your last pass. Maybe you're, it's only half as long as this. So she squared up pretty good. So that's a pro move right there. I'm gonna jump on the tractor after this and let her talk about how that felt mowing this, because I don't think she's mowed anything this tall before. Look at that. Pro move right there. 5 feet, one pass.
Okay, that was my first time on a brush hog. I think that might be the last farm implement that I've not used on the farm. It was fun. I did like it. I was slow at it, but I'm slow at most things when I get going. But I liked it. Now, he would give me a signal to go faster, and I would go faster for a minute, and then I would feel like I wasn't cutting stuff up good enough, so I went slower. Therefore, he's gonna finish up the last little bit of it, so we get it done quicker because we still have more things we want to do out here. But I did like it. I do think it'd be something that I would do without any problems. And I think once I did it another time or two, maybe I wouldn't have a supervisor giving me direction. Oh, there's Bella. Well, that's what I did. Not too bad for a rookie. Of course, he's gonna do it twice as fast, or geez, who am I kidding? He's gonna do it 10 times as fast and much more efficiently. Look at that. Oh yeah, okay. See, I didn't think I could go fast. Wow, he's going much, much faster than, oh, good night. Oh yeah, yeah, well, I don't know. I might could have had even more fun if I'd have known I was allowed to go that fast. I didn't think it would chop up if I went that fast. Look at that. Holy cow. He's gonna do what I did in a mere fraction of the time. Oh, that's funny right there. So, farming is not for the squeamish. I don't think I've ever had so many bugs on me as I did just now clearing this side of the plot. Grasshoppers, beetle things, these weird flying things that look like roaches, but I'm really gonna convince myself they weren't any type of roach because, ew. And people would think I'm a girly girl and be squeamish, but I'm not so much. Did I like bugs all over me? Didn't love it, but it's no big deal, right? Okay, so that's much, much faster than me. I need to quit babying farm equipment. Yep. It's so funny how I was so cautious thinking that I wasn't gonna chew it up good if I didn't go slow. I'm glad to have all this cleared out though, because Bella likes to come back here and run. And look how fast he's going. I know I keep saying it, but I'm pretty shocked. Bella likes to come back here and run, and when she got in these soybeans, I couldn't see her. And you just never know what's lurking. Like we saw at least 1 or 2 snakes when we were walking this, trying to find the cages that he had put out here that had completely been overgrown. So this is going to be much easier for me to find Belly Smelly. And it just gives her even more running room, right? Because that's what she needs, more running room. The other thing is I have to think where I'm going and what's the most efficient way, even though I'm not very efficient. He doesn't have to think about it. He knows these plots and he knows what he's doing, so much so that he just zips around and it's second nature. It is not second nature for me. It's not third, fourth, or fifth nature for me either, but maybe one day it'll be third nature. He doesn't baby farm equipment. Like an extension of him, that tractor is. I don't know, maybe when we're out here full time and I'm on equipment more on a daily basis instead of a weekly basis or less, maybe then I'll be this fast and this efficient. The other thing is he's got a lot of making up to do. It killed him not being on this equipment for 2 months. So even though he had me do part of it where it saved his shoulder a little bit, even if I were quicker, he'd still wanted to do it a little bit because he truly does just love it. And I get it. There's a lot to be said for working your own land, no matter how big of a piece it is. You got 1/3 of an acre, you got an acre, you got 20 acres, you got 100 acres. There's a lot to be said for doing improvements yourself. lot of pride and self-satisfaction. The fence posts are from the 3D non-electric deer fence that he put up this year. I think this would have been a little easier without them as obstacles, but don't seem to be much of an obstacle for him. A lot of smells in here with those soybeans gone. Deer and raccoons and possums and foxes, snakes, lots of bugs. Saw, I think it was 2 pine snakes. I hope it was pine snakes. Hoping they got out of the way. I don't really want to handle snakes, but I don't want to harm them. Not necessary. He is almost done. Oh, there was a mouse. I missed it. There was a little mouse just bound about. Brad was yelling at me about the rat. What I saw was a mouse. I guess there's a rat in there too. Oh my. So I saw one mouse on the other end of the field, and about that time, Brad saw a mouse on this side of the field. Guess we stirred him up. Bella smells it. Guess he's just gonna go clean up some little extra odds and ends. Bella's gonna look for the rat. And that's it, just like that. All the soybeans are gone for this year.
So the very first thing she said when I got off the tractor was, that wasn't slow.
It wasn't slow. He told me, go slow. He did give me this a couple times that I would go a little faster, but I didn't know this meant floor it and fly. I know now.
I was doing this. I don't know if you can see my feet, but.
Yeah, pushing like a brake pedal. I thought, man, just go a little faster. Apparently that means floor it. So you people remember that, because if I get in trouble for it, this is my video evidence.
I guess we got to get our signals down better, because once I saw on the first couple of passes, you were able to chop it up. That's why I kept telling you to go faster. So for me, I was wide open. I had the tractor wide open and I had the HST pedal all the way down. I don't know what you said to the good folks out there, but what I was telling them was that there was too much thatch for us to plant today. I don't know if you noticed that once you got off the tractor or if you were on the tractor, but not only is there a lot of thatch, but these soybean vines are really green. So they're just gonna wrap around the tiller, and I don't think you want to spend a whole bunch of time with knives cutting vines off the tiller today.
No, we definitely don't. I wondered that, but again, this is, you know, I'm not a farm girl. I'm turning into one, but I'm not a full-fledged farm girl yet. So I didn't know, but that makes perfect sense to me.
One thing that was probably the most exciting part of this field is I made a pass down there, and when my row got narrow, I saw a rat and a mouse. And so I was kind of signaling to Deb, but I think I gave her the bunny. I think I gave her the bunny signal. I was like that.
Yeah, I don't
and she kept Bella away. So.
Well, there was a couple exciting moments when we were looking for the cages and we kept running across a snake. I would say that I squealed like a girl, but Brad made a little squealy noise too.
I didn't make any squealy noises. One thing I like about making these videos where Deb gets involved and she drives the tractor, I think it's real good for the folks out there that are having a homestead or a farm or something, and the wife may not get involved, or the wife may be intimidated a bit by a tractor. But as you can see here, there's nothing intimidating about a tractor and a brush hog, is there?
No, it's fun.
When I pulled her off so I could have my turn, she's like, I can keep going if you want me to.
He didn't want me to.
But I needed some diesel therapy today. That's gonna wrap it up. So until next time, y'all take care out there. Remember, life's short.
Be kind.
And tractor hard.
Take care.
Take care, guys.